Hi, everyone. Welcome to our X39 review with testimonial. I'm Marcy. I'm so excited today to have my son, Jakob Preble, on the call. We'll have a testimonial from Jakob, and then we'll have Kathleen come and talk a little bit about the product, how to get the product, and just a little bit about the business. And we'll be done in about 30 minutes. So my son Jakob is a beautiful 22-year-old man now, and he kind of had a crazy life. He was diagnosed at age 2 years, 9 months with autism, and it was life-changing for him and for me. And so today will be his story about that disorder, about that, I guess what you would call challenge, and the healing to recovery. But then moving into 8th grade when the hormones came in, the testosterone came in, and moved autism to what we call OCD. And that happens a lot for kids that have the diagnosis of autism when they hit puberty. And then we'll move into what happened to Jakob just recently at 22, and how his mother finally one day patched him. And so we'll start with the journey, Jakob. Why don't you tell everybody just a little bit, what was life like as a child? At 3, 4, 5 years old, when you were kind of in the throes of that crazy disease of autism.
All right. First of all, how's everyone doing today?
We're all good. Everybody's muted, but everybody's good.
All right. Perfect. Well, I guess the main thing I want to say is this in the beginning is, when I had it, at 3 years old, I was diagnosed with it. And I guess, right off the bat, what I do remember from when I had it was, some of the things that definitely affected me was probably just a lot of obsessive, movements. Me and my mom, we would always, go out to eat, and I would always scream, and she would always have to do her best to control me, whether it was throwing around food in the restaurant, or just doing repetitive things like looking up at the sun or the stars, or just I've always had something.
Yeah, like looking up at the sun, Jakob, all the time, kind of up and down, up and down.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, definitely like that. So it was definitely a difficult time, back then, and it was very hard for me. And I wouldn't be here today without my mom. So.
Yeah, well, I'll say that some of the characteristics of autism when children are young, and as his mother, I'll just explain some of them. As some of you may know, people working with their children on recovery, and it's when they're little, they don't talk, and they cry and scream a lot, and a lot of times with Jakob, I would say come, and he would just race down Home Depot, and I thought I would lose him. Like he would just, there was no receptive language, like he was just gone, right? Like it didn't quite get it. And he didn't normally learn from the natural environment, and he just didn't talk. I don't think we got language until we started his program when he was 3.5, and this was something called ABA therapy that we did for about 40 hours a week for about 12 years. And so Jakob, really, what happened, Jakob? We kind of retrained your brain, right? And all of that. And it wasn't
Yeah, most definitely definitely really had to really work on my brain for, and all the speech and therapy. And, we just had to really do a lot of things to, help myself recover from, all the, not being able to talk, that was definitely very difficult for me. So especially not being able to talk till I was 4 years old. So it's just those little things, just having to definitely going through all that definitely was an experience, and definitely just I'm thankful for where I am today. But at the same time, I want to be able to help other people out, too, and make an impact for, for other children, that, cause you guys can get through it too, it ain't if you believe in your, your kids have hope, I just want to let you all, everyone out here that's on this call today, I want you all to know that your kids have hope, and you can recover no matter what whatever, you can fight this. You just gotta, what you gotta do what me and my mom did. We just gotta do the therapy. You gotta do everything you can. You gotta do whatever it takes, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And you know, 8 hours a day, he would be going upstairs with the therapist to learn. He didn't learn from his generalized environment. So he'd have to learn, you know, what a truck was, a fire truck, that it was red. He'd have to learn how to play. Playing with
Yeah.
for him was taking tennis balls in and out of a container. So everything had to be layered and trained. But just like the patch reconnects the wires, therapy on that young brain was reconnecting his brain wires again, right? And so Jacob, tell us then, you know, you're going right along, and now 8th grade hits, and
Yeah.
you know you're hitting puberty. What happened? You're recovering from autism, and then what happens?
So basically what happened was I was on a medication, and you know, in middle school, you know, all of a sudden, like, I started just having these repetitive thoughts in my head. Like, for example, I would have these thoughts like in my woodshop class, I thought I'm a low key, like I thought I sawed someone's leg off. Like, I thought like I was putting like medicine, like I thought someone like drugged my food, like, you know, crazy things, crazy anxiety things, like washing my hands over and over again, you know, looking at the sun, checking, you know, like making sure like everything's like, I don't know, I was just like I had a lot of anxiety, and like so I had to go to like, you know, a doctor and figure it out, you know, and it wasn't easy because definitely a difficult time for me, and definitely just glad it's over with, but it was definitely very hard.
And
So,
what did we do? You know, he was on a drug called Celexa for quite a while with autism, and then it just quit working. And then he triggered again with the testosterone in his body, and that autism stim behavior that he had as a child, like he'd look up at the sun all the time. This was repetitive motions of autism, the tennis ball in and out. It transferred to something called OCD, and that transfer was triggered even more aggressively when the Celexa quit working, and he went into the shop class, and they were all sawing on things, and literally he thought he sawed this kid's leg off, and he looped it over and over all day long in his mind. And then it went to that milkshake has drugs in it, and my friend gave me Smarties with drugs in it, and he would go tell the teacher there's drugs in my Smarties. Like, it was just a real crazy kind of loop. And remember? And I remember one day he was crying upstairs, I have fire in my brain, Mom. I don't know what to do. I can't get it out. And he would cry, and he literally didn't go to school the rest of 8th grade. I mean, his brain just couldn't go to school. And so we went to a doctor, and we put him on a new SSRI called Prozac. And he up until very recently, 3 a day, 60 milligrams is a heavy dose to deal with OCD. But we were dealing with it until what, Jacob? Now you're 22. What's going on with 3 Prozac a day, and your brain's pretty good?
Yeah, most definitely. You know, the medicine definitely helps my brain. The Prozac, I would say that's definitely up to date now, you know, like because I was like, obviously 8th grade, that was like 10 years ago for me. But up to date now, you know, a lot of, you know, like things are good. You know, the medicine definitely helps with my anxiety, and definitely like helps my brain function like in a normal way. Because in 8th grade, the problem was how I was having, like my mom explained it, like I was having like the fire in my brain and things like that, of that nature. And so during that time, it was like really hard for me and stuff, because I was just going through a lot. And like, and now up to date, I'm doing a lot. I'm doing a lot better. Like I'm just glad to, you know, have found a medicine and these
And
stem
what
cells.
happened, Jacob? Because you turned your medicine from, one day you came to me and you said, Mom, I put my medicine down to 1 Prozac a day instead of 3. He
I was gonna
just
get to that.
decided to take his dose down.
Yeah.
And why did you do that?
Well, basically because I wanted to see if my brain can function normally, you know, just all natural. And I wanted to see what it would be like to like just, you know, get off, you know, a medication and see if I would be able to
Do it.
function normally. And
Right.
and it unfortunately it wasn't really working, you know, because there
Well,
was
so
like this.
let's talk about that for a minute. And so he decided to reduce his medicine because what happens is there's side effects with medicines. And for him, he's 22. He's a very good looking man. He wants to have girlfriends. I thought when he was 3, he would never have a girlfriend. I didn't think he would talk. I didn't know if he would leave our house or be in an institution one day. I'm just being totally honest. So that he has girlfriends and wants girlfriends now is like, oh my gosh. But what happened with the side effect of Prozac is that it destroyed blood flow for him. And that's not gonna work if you want girlfriends at 22. And so without even telling me, he just decreased his dose to 1 Prozac a day, right? and then what happened?
Well, I had this like anxiety. So for example, this one night I was laying out in my patio, and I curled up into a ball crying because like, I don't know, like it felt, that's what like the medicine, like it wore off my body. Like, so like, basically what happened, it was interesting. What happened was the medicine just wore off, like because I stopped taking the medicine I was supposed to take for like a month. And all of a sudden, like I was feeling normal for that month because I was like, damn, I'm all natural, nothing's happening, I don't feel any side effects. And all of a sudden the side effects just, it was bad. Like I went into like a brain fire, like drama in my head. And it was just like, my mom had to calm me down. And basically what happened was, and this is a true story, I wasn't on the stem cell patches then, but then after, that incident, and I was rolling up on a ball on my couch, like I just took the patches.
And you were crying because, Jacob, you were crying because your OCD came back, right? You were like obsessing about things.
Yeah.
Explain some of those, just real quick, explain what came back.
It's just like anxiety about like, like the things that were happening in 8th grade came back again. So like, you're just checking your pockets, things like that, washing your hands, too many times, making sure like, you're just like kind of making sure like, I don't know, like just like making sure your wallet's not gone, your car keys, like obsessing about car keys, obsessing about things that are unnecessary to be obsessing about was what happened.
So you would just like look in and out all the time for your driver's license, or you'd be like, looking for your keys all the time, right?
Well, yeah, and yeah, but I wanted to get to that. Yeah, and but the crazy thing about all those things that have happened to me is, it seems like whenever I wear the stem cell patches, it seems like, my brain, like the fire just calms down,
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's really important that I wear them, because it just keeps the fire out of the brain and keeps me like just chilling and like just like trying to stay normal.
Yeah.
Mom, you there?
Yes, I do know exactly. So some of the things he was like obsessing about, I hope it's okay that I just say what you were obsessing about, but like he would get on Facebook or Instagram and he would just start obsessing over girls like over and over and over. Or he's also doing modeling. So he would go to these agencies and he would just look up at the same agency online over and over and over, but to the point where it's not productive, right? It's called a loop. He's looping. Or, the keys in and out of his pocket, it's just like, it's not functional, right? It's dysfunctional. And that's when I caught him by the fire pit, curled up in the ball, and he was just crying because he's like, I don't care about blood flow. Like I'm losing my mind again. Remember, you were just crying.
Yeah. I was losing my brain.
And so I said to him, let's go, let me take you to bed. And I put him into bed and I said, take your shirt off, which he did. And I just started patching his back. And I didn't even really know what to do. I just knew he was on fire. So I literally, you guys saw the back, his back. I did like 2 X39s, and 2 X39s are the stem cell patch. I did 2 eons for inflammation. I think I did 2 carnosines, and I think I did a glutathione. I just went whoosh. I really didn't know what to expect other than, and I think I did a Nirvana. I mean, I just patched him. And I'm like, let me hold your hand and let's go to sleep. Because at this time, he was only on maybe 1 Prozac a day. He was out of his medicine, you guys. Like, it wasn't in his brain anymore. And he caught me off guard because I didn't know that he did it. When they're 22, they don't tell you what they do anymore, right? And so we fell asleep together. And then what happened the next day? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I got you. Yeah, I just what happened the next day was I felt better. My brain felt a lot more calm and at ease. So definitely the patches made an impact. Definitely tell you that.
And didn't you say something about that after wearing the patches, you felt like you were living in the moment? What did that mean?
Yeah. Basically what the patches helped me do too is like, I'm not like, my mind isn't somewhere else. Like you're thinking about another task, like in the moment. It's basically what the patches have done for me. It helps me just like vibe and like stay in the moment instead of like stressing about things that haven't happened yet, you know? So that's something that the patches have done too for me, is just like live in the moment more and not worry about like just like the next task or, you know, or something that's planned for another day. Just worry about what I'm doing in the moment. And that's something that patches really helped me with. And it's like another reason why like it's definitely a great product.
And Jacob, what was I going to ask you on that? Oh, and the interesting part is that he seems to have been able to stabilize on 2 Prozacs with the patches. So not 1, not 3, but 2. And so we've been able to lower the dose a little bit.
I've been patching for 1 month.
And he's been patching for 1 month. And so we've been really doing, you know, I didn't know, I just knew that he needed more support because he didn't have enough Prozac in him. And that's why we did so many patches, right? So we've just been doing the patches that I said, 2X39, 2 Eon, 2 carnosine, and a glutathione on his back. And I just put him all on his back at night. He comes and he kneels down to me. I put him on his patch, send him to bed. And then we know in the morning I take him all off. Like I did it more just so him and I would stay compliant on patching him every night, right? I mean, that's just what we did. And he basically has been able to maintain with 2 Prozacs, and that's been helping his blood flow. Like we kind of found the best little space for him with his medication, with the patches, and now his blood flow's better, and he's just feeling better about himself, right?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely doing a lot better now.
Yeah. Thank you, Jacob, and thank you. I know it's not easy to come on and talk about stuff like this, and I want you to know, as your mother, with everything that you've gone through in your life, that you are the biggest flippin' fighter, and you just do it. You guys only knew the work this kid has had to do to recover and lead a normal life, and he's the hardest worker. He's a little entrepreneur. He's a little model. He's having girlfriends now. Like he's having like a normal full life. And Jacob, I'm just so proud.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate
you. Thank you, honey, for coming on.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
I'm gonna have you mute yourself now. Can you figure out how to mute yourself? Go ahead. And then Kathleen, why don't you unmute and talk about a little bit about what this patch is all about. Thank you, Jacob.
Wow, thank you so much, Jacob. I had the pleasure to meet Jacob. It must have been about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. I stayed at Marcy's house for a while. He probably doesn't remember, but it's so good to hear your story again, Jacob. Thank you so much. It's so moving, and I'm so glad to hear you're doing well and found that sweet balance. So what Jacob, right on. Cool. So what Jacob's talking about is this patch right here. It's called the X39 Stem Cell Activating Patch. And it kind of looks like a little Band-Aid, right? It's got adhesive on the back. You just pull it off and you put it on your skin. And when you put it on your skin, it activates. And so what's in that patch is amino acids, organic salts and sugars, and some water. And then it's imbued with a wavelength of frequency. So this is called light therapy. And so it's imbued with the frequency, and then it touches your body heat, like I said. And at that point, that wavelength is released, and it goes into your body and starts communicating with your skin. And it tells your skin and your brain to produce GHK copper peptides. And GHK copper peptide does a myriad of things. It heals linings, it heals bones, it heals tissues, it heals ligaments. It does so many things. And three of the things, you can hear the dog in the background. So three of the things it does is it actually activates your stem cells. It produces new stem cells, and it resets stem cells. So what that actually means, I'm just going to talk louder. So what that actually means is that the resetting is really cool. So that's resetting 3,000 to 4,000 genes back to a younger expression within 24 hours. So within 24 hours, 3,000 to 4,000 genes back to a younger expression. That is really impressive. And then the production of the new stem cells. So with the light frequency, the production of the new stem cells happens, and those stem cells are blank stem cells. The fancy word is pluripotent, but really in effect, what it means is blank. So what that means is that at that point, those stem cells, they just kind of scan your body, and they differentiate into whatever your body needs. They scan it, they determine, they prioritize. So they can differentiate into liver, brain, hair, skin, nail, stomach. So basically whatever you have going on, those blanket stem cells are going to go right to that spot. They're going to make those cells, they're going to turn into that cell, and they're going to repair and regenerate those specific issues. And they're going to prioritize to the next fire and the next fire. So really, in effect, what's happening is it's activating your own body's intelligence, your own innate wisdom to heal yourself. And I'm in the healing industry, and that just aligns with my values 100%. Body heal thyself with light frequency, absolutely. And so the deal is at about age 35, we lose 50% of our stem cells. So that's kind of when you're maybe just starting to feel like you're slowing down a bit, right? And then at 60, you lose about 90%. So at that point, that's when really disease can happen, degeneration can happen, disintegration can happen. So all those things is really when we really start noticing the age. So with this patch, that puts you back to a younger age and really starts to repair and regenerate those organs and your brain and all those kinds of really great things. So you wear it like on CV7, which is like the knobby area, the knobby part on your neck, or right below your belly button. So those are kind of the two recommended places to wear it. But honestly, any spot will do. It's, you have a pain point, you just put it right on your knee or your hip or wherever you'd like to put it. But those are like the two recommended spots. I have mine on CV7 right now. So you want to wear it 12 hours on and 12 hours off. And that's kind of like a light switch, right? So we're going to, the 12 hours that you're wearing it, it's activating that GHK copper peptide. It's producing the GHK copper peptide, which is actually a naturally occurring peptide in our body. So it's producing that, and it's also producing the stem cells. So that's the activating time. So then you take it off, you throw it away, and then you have 12 hours off. And that's when all the cells that have been activated are now going to go and do the repair and regeneration. So it's really important to do the 12 hours on and 12 hours off. It's really, like I said, like a light switch, and we don't want to get desensitized. You have to have that repair and regeneration just as important, because that's why we're wearing it, right? To, turn back the clock, to repair that organ or feel better, better sleep, better energy, all the amazing things that I've had over the last 9 months. I can go on and on about the results for myself. So, and some of those, like I said, yeah, better sleep, more youthful energy, lots of mental clarity, mental acuity. Wound healing is a really miraculous thing it does. Skin wrinkle reduction, hair growth. Lots of people have had gobs of hair. I have a friend here on Maui who was completely bald up here. He's growing his hair back. enhance sports performance, and really, really just that deep cellular healing. We really recommend it for 3 months. At 3 months, I actually healed from accidents I had 30 years ago. So at 3 months, before that, my thumbs didn't do that. They only moved as one joint. I could not do that or that. And at 3 months, those healed. I had other accidents that healed. So it's really a no-brainer as far as just giving yourself the gift of health, right? So with that being said, our patch is backed by a 15-year-old company, and the patch is about 1.5 years old. So what that means is that it's really a perfect merging of a stable company that distributes to 100 different countries. It has 80 patents, 80 clinical studies. So it has really an amazing distribution system, an amazing customer service department, and it's really a solid, grounded-based company. And then, of course, we have the revolutionary technology of the stem cell activating patch. So it's really a great, perfect storm of merging for that. And something to mention that's we're really excited about is that we just got the US patent. So that was probably over like 3 months ago. We got the US patent for our patch. We have many other patents for other things, but this is the one, the X39 is the one we just received. And we got it in a really quick, short year. The reason that happened is because it's so amazingly demonstrative. The blood work that we actually submitted to the patent office really showed, yes, it elevates GHK copper peptides, just like LifeWave and David Schmidt says it does, therefore producing new stem cells, resetting new stem cells, and activating the stem cells, right? So the patch works. That's the point of that story, the patch works. So we got the patent within, like I said, 1 year. Typically it's 3 to 4, it's 10 years. It can be a while. So that's really impressive, and we really like it. So also prior to this patch, if you were interested in getting stem cell therapy, that would have been an injection, and that would have cost you anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 to $10,000 with really like a 50-50 success rate. So we are the only non-invasive product for stem cell therapy and to enjoy that repair and that regeneration. So with that, there's different ways you can get our product. You can come in as a customer, and a customer is a couple different ways. You could do retail, which is $150, or you could be a preferred customer. And a preferred customer really enjoys the wholesale price of $99, which equals out to, like Peter likes to say, less than a cup of coffee a day, right? So that would be $333 a day, like I said. And with the preferred customer, you get to go on auto ship and then enjoy the product every month. And like I said, really the 3 months is the deep healing that we like, which brings me to the kits that we also have. So we have different kits, and you could be a customer or a distributor with a kit. Either way, it just gives you a lot of product, and then you have it on hand, and it's a really great health commitment for yourself. The 2 kits that we really like to recommend are the silver kit, and that gives you the 3 months that I'm talking about with the deep cellular healing, and that's $299 plus shipping and handling. And then the other kit that we really like to recommend is the diamond kit, and that is 19 sleeves. A sleeve is a month's supply, and it looks like this. That's the package it comes in. So that's a month's supply, and so the diamond gives you 19 of those. And that's for $15.99. And that's, if you really see the vision that I just spoke about with the amazing timing of the stem cell industry, and then our beautiful company of LifeWave with the stability and the revolutionary healing technology that this whole entire meeting is about. So with that, I would like to once again just say thank you so much for Jacob. What a beautiful story, and his glorious mama, Marcy. And I'm going to give it back to her so she can close us out for the evening.
Wow, thank you, Kathleen. Thank you for explaining how the product works, how people can get the product, a little bit on the company and the business. For more information, you can definitely go to startx39.com. There's a great 3-minute video on how stem cell activation works. David Schmidt, our owner, inventor, and CEO, does an 18-minute video exactly on X39, the technology of it, and the issues it helps with. as well as there's a research link, testimonial links, and just to remind you how to wear it. It's just a great site. And once again, that's startx39.com. Just get with the person who brought you here and let them know what you want to do. Just let the patch do the work. That's what's been happening for us. There is really no risk with the 3-month money-back guarantee. And enjoy the patch. It's been life-changing for many of us. Tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon, Friday at 1 o'clock, join us. We will be having an interview with myself and Peter No, and we'll have a surprise for you tomorrow. So we look forward to seeing you all tomorrow for our 1 o'clock interview. And we thank you so much for joining us tonight and hearing the story of my beautiful son, Jacob, from recovery to autism to OCD to feeling much better on the X39. Thanks so much. Have a great night. Bye-bye now.
Thanks, everybody. Great call.
Thanks, sweetie. Thank you, Jacob.